Now I could feel really grateful for all of the things that you've done for me. For your goodness and your mercy, and how you take care of everything. When I look at everything you have done for me, I just wanna give you all the praise. When I look at everything you have done for me, I just wanna give you all the praise. 300 days, days, days. 300 fill my cup. 300 days you broke me up.
Yes, guys. Oh my goodness. I am back, guys. Yes, I am. Yes, guys, I am back. I appreciate you all for supporting the Creative List podcast. I am your host, Regina, and I'm sorry I apologize for not recapping 2024. But however, guys, I'm back, just like I said, and I will get into some topics about the latest news in 2025 and just talk a little bit and recap 2024 on the other side. All right, guys. Oh my goodness, guys. Yes, I am back, guys. I appreciate you all for, I'm telling you, you just keep on rocking with the Creative Lips podcast, guys. You just keep on supporting a sister, and I appreciate you all once again. Yes, I do. I appreciate you all. Yes, it is now 2025. You are listening to the Creative Lips podcast, and I'm your host, Regina. Yes, guys, this is episode 108. Yes, it is. We are getting through these episodes, getting a little bit closer to the middle of 100 episodes. All of my episodes that I have been just putting out to you. I really appreciate you all for downloading, sharing them, just putting them on your social media platforms, talking about them, and also sending me emails of ideas of what you think my next episode should be or what you would like to hear me talk about. And I appreciate you all for tuning in once again to this episode. Just like I said, I know some of you had missed me towards the end of 2024, and I apologize once again for not being present to you all. But I'm telling you, towards the end of my 2024, it was just a little bit of, just a little bit trying for me. Yes, it was, guys. It was just a little bit trying for me. But however, I made it through. I made it through the year. How many of you can say thank you? Thank you, God, for carrying me through the year, Oh my goodness, God has carried us through this year. Yes, we made it through. We made it through that tunnel. We made it through that dark time. Those dark times, whatever times that you may be faced with in your life, you made it through. Yes, you did. Oh my goodness. Yes, you did, guys. And, I can honestly say, I also like to start off my episodes. I like to start off my episodes with just words of encouragement. Words of encouragement. Words to get you through the day, the nighttime, whatever time of the day you are listening to this episode. I want to give you words of encouragement, guys. I want to say that whatever you are faced with, only you know what you are going through right now. Whatever trials, whatever situations you're trying to get out of, whatever situations you are trying to stop, whatever situations you are trying to start, whatever it may be, I'm here to tell you that it could happen. It could happen for you. It could happen for you to the point that you cannot believe that situation was a blessing for you, or a situation will be solved, and you will see, once again, you will see that light at the end of the tunnel. You will see the light of day. You will. Now, I always add this in my words of encouragement. I always say that some situations take time. Those type of situations, you may need to seek additional help. You may need to reach out to someone and ask what type of steps you need to take. Never be too embarrassed to talk about whatever situation you are faced with. Don't be too afraid to reach out for help and talk to someone, because you never know that help that you might get from that person, that program, or whatever it may be. You never know. It just might be your breakthrough. It might be your breakthrough, guys. So never, ever, ever be afraid to try to seek help. And professional help too as well. There's nothing wrong with talking to a therapist or a psychologist. There's nothing wrong. Or a life coach. There's nothing wrong with doing that. Don't be too afraid. Don't be too embarrassed to do those things, guys. All right. So, just like I told you all, I want to, pick up. Not more so pick up, but just recap, a little bit about 2024. Just like I stated to you all, my 2024, oh my goodness, it was a little bit of trying towards the end of the year. But I did have a blessing that carried me through that little half of the end of 2024. And I am forever grateful for it. I am forever grateful for that blessing. And I can honestly say that if it wasn't for that blessing, man, I think my 2025 at the beginning would have been chaos. It would have been chaos. But however, I made it through. I can honestly look at my entire 2024 and say that I made it through the entire year. It was times that I can honestly say that I didn't think that I was going to make it through, honestly. Have you ever felt that? Have any of you all felt that last year you were not going to make it through? Honestly, I can honestly say that and attest to that, Honestly, I can definitely say that. But look at me. I'm still here. And guys, I'm telling you, I appreciate you all once again for your support, your genuine support for Creative Lips Podcast. Follow me on all of my social media right now. I want all of you that's listening to this episode, I want you to go to your social media platforms where you feel comfortable using whatever social media platforms, whether it may be Instagram, whether it may be X, or whether it may be SoundCloud, or even YouTube. And also your streaming platforms, your favorite streaming platforms where you get your favorite podcast. I want you to type in the search engine, and I want you to type in Creative Lips Podcast, guys. Also, type in Creative Lips Podcast in Google, and it's gonna pull up everywhere where my podcast is. All right, I'm on iTunes, I'm on Spotify, I'm on Listen Notes, I'm everywhere. I'm on Alexa, guys. So if you talk to your Alexa, say, Alexa, pull up Creative Lips Podcast.
Pull up my select.
Yes, pull up Creative Lips Podcast, and it's going to pull me up. So I really appreciate you all for tuning in. I really do. Once again. So now enough about 2024. I know, because probably people listening to this are like, why is she still on 2024? We're in 2025 right now. We're trying to move on. We're letting go of the past. Yes. But however, I wanted to just recap just briefly of my year and to give you a little bit of an idea. I'm not going to talk about too much about it because some stuff is personal. But however, I just wanted to give you a little idea why I wasn't here, and why my episodes began to disappear on you guys, and I'm so sorry. But however, I'm back, and we're going to get into this new year. We're going to be talking about 2025. What's been going on in your new year? What have you been doing this new year? Have you been doing something different? Have you been doing something new? What have you been doing? I am not into resolutions. I don't do any resolutions. And just to talk about that, I'm going to insert one of my podcasts that I talked about on in the beginning of the year, talking about resolutions. I'm going to insert that in there at the bottom so you can listen to why I do not take part in any resolutions. No, I don't, guys. I don't do that. I feel as though that resolutions is something that you will eventually give up. You will eventually give up that resolution. Whatever resolution it may be, you will definitely give it up. You won't continue on with it. But, it's to each his own. You can probably change it up. You can probably say goal setting, trying something new, or whatever it may be, whatever you want to call it. I try not to, hold myself to stuff like that, because it's all about just doing it. It's all about just doing it. And I'm going to also put an insert in the bottom because I created a YouTube video basically talking about how you should just do the things that you say that you're going to do. Just do the things that you say you're going to do instead of talking about it, instead of getting advice, and just do it. Because if you are just talking about it and not putting any action behind it, then stop talking about it. You know what I'm saying? Stop talking about it. Just forget about it. Because if you're not doing anything with it, if you're not following through with what you said you're going to do, just stop talking about it. That's just my opinion. Because I feel as though that you are doing a disservice to yourself by just talking about things you're going to do and you're not even fulfilling it. So if you're going to do it, just do it. And sometimes too, you don't have to tell everybody what you're doing. Sometimes it's always good to keep things to yourself. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with just keeping your dreams and aspirations or goals or whatever to yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. Because in the end, it's going to be better for you to hold yourself accountable to do it. Because think about it. If you tell everybody what you're doing, keep on telling them over and over again, they're going to hold you to it. And then when it doesn't come to fruition, they're going to be like, okay, I don't think this person ever really wanted to do it to begin with. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, you know, just do it. You know what I'm saying? Just fulfill what you say that you're going to do. And keep it moving. Keep it moving in 2025. Yes, keep it moving, guys. Keep it moving. Yeah, so now the latest topics that I want to talk about today is, oh man, it's very disheartening to me that all of you probably know of what has been going on with the LA's largest wildfires. Oh man, yes, the largest fires ever, man. And I can honestly say that those fires that has been spreading are like crazy. They're crazy. They're crazy. I never saw anything like that in my life. I honestly didn't. You know, the Palisades fire in Los Angeles had, oh my goodness, it just took over the east side late Friday night. And it prompted emergency officials to expand mandatory evacuations and orders across the Palisades. Like the nearby Pacific Palisades, Brentwood is among the most, I'm telling you, it's a lot of people there who are well off in that area, and they lost everything, guys. I mean, everything, you know. And you know, sometimes people say that, you know, these people that lost everything, they are well off. You know, they have money. But this is what I want to say to that. Okay. Yeah, these people have money. Yes, they do. You know, but however, they still lost everything. They still lost their memorabilia, pictures, you know, stuff that probably has been in their family for all of their lives. And they lost it all. And yes, they probably have the means to get a new house, maybe buy even a new car. But however, some things you just can't get back, you know, especially if it's of substance to you, if it's something that you have had all your life, you know, and the list goes on with people who have lost everything. You know, it's a long drawn list of movie stars and to media executives and even to athletes. You know, the list goes on to a lot of people who have lost it all in the Palisades, you know. But though it is not immediately clear who lives within that expanded zone, that little area where the fires had broke out. And, They said the wildfires, when they began a couple of days ago, they were really hard to put out. That's what they were saying, that they were hard to put out. Were they, or were they not hard to put out? Or did they just didn't intervene in a way that they should have? Now, when the fire started, there were winds that reached up to, they said, up to 100 miles per hour. And they said that LA always has these fires, and they always have these winds that they have like every season, like during November to December. And since in Southern California, that's where it's at, they never really have any rain. And they said they haven't had any rain in a while. So it was really, really hard for them to put out the fires, because it was a drought from it not raining. And they said that for some reason there wasn't enough water to put out the fires. But the Palisades are close to the beach. And right now it's a lot of pointing of the fingers. A lot of pointing of the fingers as to this could have been prevented. So a lot of things has transpired throughout the course of the days with the Palisades fire. But however, this fire, it was really hard for them to try to get it contained. But eventually, on Friday, January the 10th, they were able to try their best to contain it. And also, there are so many different updates about this fire. Now, my opinion, and this is my own speculation of how, from what I see, when you look at this fire, when you look at it online, and when you see the area of where everything it burnt down entire town. It burnt down the schools. It burnt down doctor's offices. It just burnt down everything. And when you see that, it gives you an idea of something to where it's just like, you know what? I think it's something more to this. They were basically saying that it's Hollywood's wrath, and, saying all kinds of crazy stuff like that, But I just found it very interesting to me when, they were going about, saying different stuff like that. Did the fire start from natural causes because of the seasonal changes, because of science, or because of the winds accumulated with heat? And it's just all kinds of stuff. It's all kinds of scientists trying to step forward and, saying all kinds of stuff about the ecosystem, about global warming. It's just so much stuff that they're basically trying to put their finger on. But it wasn't until something came about this past Friday. And I just basically want you all to hear this clip, an Instagram person by the name of the host of Inhumane Podcast. And she's basically talking about the wildfires because she lives there. And she's basically talking about how the wildfires spread it and, and stuff like that. So I'm just going to play you all a little clip about what, she's talking about the wildfires. So just take a listen to what she says.
You're probably very aware of the wildfires that have been devastating Southern California the last 4 days. But how did they start? While they are still being investigated, yesterday a suspect was arrested on suspicion of arson. Yesterday evening, the LAPD detained a possible arson suspect that was spotted near the Kenneth fire, which was the one that broke out in Woodland Hills yesterday. A man saw a suspect trying to light a fire in a trash can and called 911 before he and some neighbors attempted to stop the suspect, holding the suspect down until police arrived. The LAPD detained the suspect and questioned him, but this morning they say that they ultimately decided the suspect would not face arson charges. LAPD Divisional Chief Dominic Choi said after the interview and additional investigative steps, looking at some additional evidence that was present, they made the determination that there was not enough probable cause to arrest this person on arson or suspicion of arson. While the man is not being arrested on arson charges, he actually has been arrested on a felony probation violation. As of today, Friday, January 10th, the cause of the fires remains unknown, but thousands of acres and structures have burned, with many residents still under evacuation order in the city. The investigation into what started these fires is ongoing and likely will not be completed until the fires are extinguished and the areas can be more closely examined. The devastation across Los Angeles is horrible. I'm about 30 miles away from the initial fires that broke out, and thankfully we have not had anything near us, but we still are being impacted. There's ash everywhere. We can smell the smoke. Everything's hazy. The air quality is horrible. And I can only imagine those that are in the areas surrounding the fires that are being impacted by this. It is so awful. So I truly hope that if somebody was responsible for starting these fires, they get caught and have to pay for what they did. Hopefully the winds will continue to die down and these fires will be put out soon. But everybody who has been affected by these fires, all of the first responders, everybody involved is in my thoughts. I will have some resources linked of how you can help. There are a lot of resources available for those who are affected and how you can help from afar. And thank you to the first responders and investigators who are working to put the fires out and determine how this happened.
Yeah, oh my goodness. Yeah, you hear that, guys. Wow, But however, just like she stated, there is no probable cause. It's not a probable cause for them to arrest. The suspect may go out sky free, and there are a lot of people coming out, basically saying that that person was arrested, but then you have some other people talking about there are multiple people that have been arrested, As the days go along, time will tell how these fires actually started. But this is my presumption. I believe that they are going to either find a fall guy or they're just going to just say it's the natural. It's the natural atmosphere. It's science. This is how it happens. This is when wind is at this miles per hour and heat or whatever they're going to say. They're basically going to blame it on something, because right now there's a lot of fingers being pointed. They don't even care. I mean, honestly, this is my opinion. They act like they care, but I don't believe they do. Honestly, I really don't. But that's just my opinion. It's just my opinion on this. Just like I said, when you see it, if many of you haven't seen it already, I don't know where you're living at or what rock you're under. This is very devastating at the beginning of the year. What is going to be in store for 2025? Do you all think that this year is fight or flight mode? Are we in a fight or flight mode at the beginning of the year? Because think about it. That's LA. LA is known to have fires. LA is known to have, different types of elements that is like that. Just like Florida. Florida is known to have hurricanes, rains, and then you got certain other states that are known to have, ice storms. So, or earthquakes, California, LA, whatever. But does this make you all think of an emergency plan? Does it make you think that, man, I don't know what can happen in my city? If that can happen there, what can happen here? I need to have a plan in place for myself and my family so that I can be able to get out of there, to do what I need to do if I need to evacuate. Do you all think that's something that you need to do? I really do. I really think that you need to have those things in place. Whether you're renting or you own a home, it doesn't matter. Because if you got to get out of there, that home is going to be no more. And let's not forget about a lot of things, other things that has been happening in LA, which can happen anywhere. The looting. They said that it was lots and lots of people. Like once they contained the fires, there were a lot of people coming into the neighborhoods. That's why I said these neighborhoods, it was a lot of people that lives in this neighborhood that are very well off, affluential people. So the houses or whatever is left that is still standing, you had people drive into. They said they were coming in droves into these neighborhoods that were burnt down, looting the homes. So when they gave the all clear for families to come to see their home with whatever is left of their home, these people were coming to their homes seeing nothing. Now, I'm not talking about the homes that were completely disintegrated. I'm talking about the homes that were like completely just a little bit standing, and they were coming home. Everything was gone because you had the looters that came in and took all of their belongings, TVs. They were coming in droves, and it was just crazy. I just thought that seeing something like this, this can happen anywhere. But right now, what they're doing, they are putting a curfew. They're putting a curfew in LA. And they're also bringing in the National Guard right now as we speak. The National Guard is going to be, on the lookout in these neighborhoods. I just want to play you all just a quick clip, basically talking about, as the fires are still raging, the National Guard taking charge, taking, a hold of the looters in LA.
It could take days to fully extinguish the flames. The wildfires have triggered lawlessness too. There are growing reports of looted homes as more people abandon their homes to save their lives. Here's a report.
Los Angeles is burning. It's a scale of devastation the city has never seen before. At least 10 people have died. The fires have spread across 35,000 acres. 10,000 buildings have been destroyed. Another 60,000 are at risk. The damages are worth well over $100 billion. This is the costliest wildfire in US history.
Based on the devastation that is clear, it looks like a bomb, an atomic bomb dropped in these areas.
Videos like these paint a grim picture. Multiple wildfires are burning across Los Angeles now. None of them are anywhere close to being contained. The skies are buzzing with aircraft dropping retardants and water on the flames, but these efforts are making little impact. For the victims of this fire, these losses are personal and real. Los Angeles is home to Hollywood. The wildfire is even threatening the city's iconic Hollywood sign. Many A-list celebrities have lost their homes. This includes names like Mel Gibson, Adam Brody and Paris Hilton, who shared a video of her charred home in Malibu. These fires have been raging for 3 days now. Thousands of firefighters still remain overwhelmed by the sheer scale of the blaze. It's being made worse by strong winds and the lack of rain. Looters are now taking advantage of the chaos. They are raiding empty homes and shops which have been abandoned. At least 20 arrests have been made so far.
If anybody is involved in looting or any property damage, that he is ready to prosecute to the full extent of the law.
There are now 8,000 personnel on the ground trying to stop these raging wildfires and maintain order. Yet the crisis remains beyond control. California Governor Gavin Newsom has now called in troops from the National Guard. This is a military reserve force, and they have been asked to put an end to the looting. The crisis in Los Angeles shows how extreme weather events are intensifying. And this exposes just how unprepared our communities, our governments and public spaces are to deal with it.
Yes, you heard that, guys. Yeah. It's going to be very interesting in the coming days when it comes to, with what they are trying to take hold of what's going on with the LA fires. It's going to take some time. It's going to take a couple of days, and we'll see in a couple of days. And I will also be on the lookout for what's going on over there in LA. My thoughts and prayers goes out to LA. And if you know of an organization that is very reputable, because there are scams out there. I want to also add that too. They are also scamming on the internet to give to different programs of money, GoFundMes, all different types of stuff they are doing right now, which is a shame. And when crisis arise as such, stuff like that always happens. So be on the lookout for maybe phone calls or texts, that or emails that you may get flooded with for help and aid for what's going on in LA. So be mindful and be careful of what you click on in your DMs, on your emails, and even phone calls that you might get, because they are doing all different type of tactics to try to scam you, over the crisis that's going in LA, which is sad. So I didn't want this to be too long, but which it is just a little bit long. But I've been away for some time. Oh my goodness, yes, I have been. I've been away for some time, and I wanted to just update you all on, what's going on with me, what's going on in the world, and, just let you know that I'm still here. Yes, I'm still here. Sister is still here. Creativeless Podcast is still here, and definitely I appreciate you all supporting me. I really do. I appreciate you all. I appreciate you all for tuning in and downloading my episodes once again. Follow me on all of my social media, guys. Yes, follow me there. Follow me at Creative Lips Podcast on Instagram. Yes. Follow me on Creative Lips Pod on X. Yes. And also follow me on Creative Lips Podcast on SoundCloud. Yes, follow me. Just follow me everywhere, guys. Wherever you see my podcast, I want you to support me. I also want you to leave me a review. Yes, support a sister. And if this episode, hey, if this episode helped you, I want you to share this episode as well. Okay? All right, guys. Until next time.
Jesus. are now listening to episode 108 of the Creative Lips Podcast.
Yeah.